In the shadowy corners of human history, there are objects that inspire fascination, fear, and awe all at once. Among these, few have captured the imagination and dread, quite like the Cursed Idol of Pazuzu. This ancient figure, originating from Mesopotamian mythology, has become synonymous with malevolent spirits, forbidden power, and tales that blur the line between legend and reality. Unlike simple superstition, the story of the Pazuzu idol weaves together anthropology, archaeology, and the human psyche, making it a compelling tale for historians, psychologists, and thrill-seekers alike. What is it about a small carved figure that can inspire stories of curses, possession, and death? To understand, we must first journey back thousands of years into the cradles of civilization where such objects were born. Pazuzu is a figure steeped in both fear and paradox. In ancient Babylonian culture, he was known as the king of the demons of the wind, responsible for bringing famine, locusts, and disease. Yet curiously, he was also invoked for protection against other malevolent spirits, particularly the dreaded Lamashtu, a female demon who preyed upon mothers and children. The idol itself, a grotesque figure with a leonine face, wings, claws, and a serpentine body, was designed to both terrify and protect. Its physicality is a study in the psychology of horror. Asymmetrical features, exaggerated claws, and sharp angles stimulate the human fear response, even across millennia. Ancient artisans knew that power lay not only in ritual, but also in the ability to evoke awe and dread through visual design. Archaeological evidence shows that Pazuzu idols were often placed in households, especially in sleeping quarters, to ward off evil. These idols were small enough to be portable, yet detailed enough to carry symbolic weight. To modern eyes, they are unsettling, almost cartoonishly grotesque, but to the Mesopotamians, they embodied both danger and protection. They were reminders that the world was full of unseen forces, some to be feared, others to be appeased. The idol's duality is central to its power. It was a tool, a talisman, and a symbol of humanity's eternal negotiation with the unknown. The curse associated with Pazuzu is less a historical fact than a cultural and psychological phenomenon. Stories passed down through generations suggest that misusing the idol or disrespecting it could unleash the very chaos it was meant to ward off. These tales often involve sudden illness, inexplicable accidents, and even violent deaths. From a psychological standpoint, such stories serve multiple purposes. They act as cautionary tales, reinforcing social norms and rituals, while also externalizing fear into a tangible object. The idol, in this way, becomes a repository for human anxiety, a vessel through which people confront the uncontrollable forces of nature and society. Modern fascination with the Pazuzu idol is perhaps best exemplified by its appearance in popular culture. The most famous, though fictionalized, instance is its connection to the 1973 film, The Exorcist. In this narrative, a small Pazuzu statuette becomes a harbinger of demonic possession, amplifying its eerie reputation. While the film took liberties with historical accuracy, it tapped into deep-seated fears embedded in human consciousness, the fear of malevolent forces, the unknown, and objects that appear both familiar and alien. The cinematic portrayal cemented Pazuzu as a cultural icon of horror, bridging ancient myth with contemporary fear. Understanding why humans fear objects like the Pazuzu idol requires a look into cognitive psychology. Our brains are wired to detect threats, even in ambiguous stimuli. The grotesque and asymmetrical features of the idol, its unnatural wings, claws, and serpentine forms trigger the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Even when we intellectually know the object is inert, our subconscious interprets the features as potentially dangerous. This is why people report feelings of unease or anxiety in the presence of such idols. Fear is not always rational. It is evolutionary, designed to keep humans vigilant in the face of uncertainty. Anthropologists argue that objects like the Pazuzu idol also function as social tools. In ancient Mesopotamia, these idols were more than protection. They were symbols of status, knowledge, and adherence to cultural norms. Owning an idol indicated awareness of ritual practices, a connection to the divine, and an ability to navigate the spiritual landscape. This social dimension enhanced the object's perceived power. Those who disregarded or mocked such artifacts risked social censure, adding another layer to the idea of a curse. The fear was not only supernatural but also communal. To disrespect the idol was to risk both cosmic and societal consequences. The cursed reputation of Pazuzu also feeds into a broader human fascination with forbidden or dangerous objects. Anthropologists have long noted that societies tend to imbue certain items with dual qualities, power and risk. Sacred texts, ritualistic tools, and talismans are all imbued with this tension. In the case of the Pazuzu idol, its grotesque appearance and mythological associations amplify the perception of danger. Humans are drawn to what scares them, and the idol's aesthetic, grotesque, uncanny, and alien, activates both curiosity and caution. The combination of fascination and fear is a psychological cocktail that ensures the idol remains compelling across millennia. Historical records reveal that the rituals surrounding Pazuzu were meticulous. Incantations, placements in specific locations, and offerings were designed to harness its protective power while minimizing risk. Missteps in these rituals, whether intentional or accidental, were believed to provoke the demon's wrath. These practices highlight an essential aspect of human interaction with the unknown: control through ritual. By performing the proper ceremonies, humans symbolically assert mastery over forces that are otherwise uncontrollable. The idol becomes a mediator between the human and the supernatural, a tangible interface for negotiation with the unseen. Modern collectors of Mesopotamian artifacts often report a similar psychological tension when handling or displaying Pazuzu idols. There is a thrill in owning an object imbued with centuries of myth, ritual, and fear. At the same time, there is a heightened sense of respect or even trepidation. Museums often emphasize proper handling, both to preserve the artifact and to honor its cultural significance. The aura of danger, whether real or imagined, adds to the object's allure. Psychologists note that humans are naturally drawn to objects that carry narrative, history, and symbolic weight. Pazuzu's notoriety ensures it is both compelling and memorable. The fear of Pazuzu can also be understood through the lens of the uncanny. Sigmund Freud described the uncanny as something familiar yet alien, provoking both recognition and discomfort. Pazuzu embodies this perfectly. Its humanoid elements suggest familiarity, while its wings, claws, and leonine face make it distinctly otherworldly. This combination activates neural pathways associated with both recognition and fear. Our brains struggle to categorize the idol, producing tension and anxiety. The uncanny nature of Pazuzu ensures it remains a powerful symbol of fear, fascination, and human cognitive complexity. Interestingly, the idol's protective role adds a layer of psychological complexity. While it is grotesque and fear-inducing, it also serves to ward off evil. This duality is essential to understanding human engagement with such objects. Fear and protection are intertwined. By acknowledging the potential danger, humans feel empowered when they invoke protective rituals. The idol becomes a tool for agency in a world otherwise full of uncertainty. Humans have always sought control over the uncontrollable, and the Pazuzu idol represents a sophisticated manifestation of that instinct. The story of Pazuzu also intersects with moral and ethical narratives. The demon's role as both harbinger of disease and protector against Lamashtu situates it within a moral framework. Proper respect, ritual, and understanding yield protection, while disrespect invites harm. The idol is a medium through which humans navigate ethical and social norms, encoding moral lessons into myth. These narratives, preserved in texts and rituals, highlight the role of objects in shaping societal behavior. Fear, then, is not only supernatural but also instructional, guiding communities through cautionary tales and ritual observance. As historians, we can trace the enduring fascination with Pazuzu through centuries of mythology, art, and scholarship. The figure appears in cylinder seals, carvings, and ritual texts, demonstrating its significance in Mesopotamian culture. Each artifact provides insight into human cognition, societal structure, and spiritual belief. Archaeologists have documented both the ubiquity and the variation of Pazuzu imagery, indicating localized interpretations and widespread acknowledgement of its power. The idol's longevity underscores the persistence of human engagement with fear, protection, and the uncanny. Psychologically, the idol's power extends beyond ancient cultures. Humans have a universal tendency to attribute meaning to objects, particularly those that evoke strong emotional responses. The grotesque features of Pazuzu, combined with its mythological associations, create a potent emotional stimulus. Even in a museum case or a private collection, the figure can evoke awe, curiosity, and unease. Neuroimaging studies suggest that exposure to uncanny or threatening objects activates brain regions involved in threat detection, social evaluation, and memory encoding. In essence, Pazuzu's power is as much about perception and cognition as it is about mythology. The cursed reputation of Pazuzu also illustrates the interplay between narrative and experience. Stories of misfortune, illness, and death associated with mishandling the idol reinforce fear and respect. This narrative conditioning shapes human behavior and perception. Whether or not the curse is real, the belief in it produces real psychological and social consequences. Humans are highly responsive to narrative. The stories surrounding Pazuzu function as cultural reinforcement, encoding caution, ritual knowledge, and ethical behavior into compelling, memorable tales. The curse is a psychological artifact as much as a mythological one. Modern media has amplified the mystique of Pazuzu, transforming it into a global icon of fear and the supernatural. From horror films to documentaries, the idol has become shorthand for demonic power and ancient malevolence. These portrayals, while fictionalized, tap into deep psychological processes: fear of the unknown, attraction to danger, and fascination with the grotesque. Cultural dissemination ensures that the idol's legend continues, transcending its original context. Pazuzu is now a bridge between ancient ritual practice and contemporary horror, demonstrating the enduring human fascination with objects that embody fear. Even skeptics find themselves affected. Handling or viewing Pazuzu evokes strong emotional reactions, regardless of belief in the supernatural. This speaks to the power of symbols, aesthetics, and narrative. The idol embodies a convergence of factors: visual grotesque elements, mythological significance, historical narrative, and cultural reinforcement. Together, these produce an object that commands attention, respect, and emotional response. Pazuzu is not merely a relic. It is a living psychological phenomenon, demonstrating the ways in which humans interact with meaning-laden objects across time. Finally, the story of the Cursed Idol of Pazuzu reminds us of the intricate relationship between humans and the objects they create. Objects are not passive. They carry narrative, evoke emotion, and structure behavior. Pazuzu's grotesque form, dual role as protector and threat, and enduring presence in myth and culture illustrate how fear, fascination, and meaning intertwine. Whether viewed as artifact, symbol, or object of horror, the idol offers insight into human cognition, culture, and psychology. It is a testament to our enduring desire to confront, understand, and negotiate the forces, real or imagined, that shape our lives. In conclusion, the Cursed Idol of Pazuzu is more than a figure of horror. It is a nexus of mythology, psychology, and human curiosity. It embodies fear, protection, narrative, and aesthetic tension, demonstrating how humans interact with the unknown. Its grotesque design, historical context, and cultural transmission create a psychological and emotional impact that persists to this day. Through the lens of history, psychology, and anthropology, Pazuzu offers a profound look into human engagement with fear, power, and the uncanny. The Cursed Idol is a mirror of the human mind, complex, adaptive, and irresistibly fascinated by the dark, the mysterious, and the unknown.